Welcome to the Explainer. I am so absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Now, if you are a focused learner who loves getting straight to the facts, without any of that unnecessary fluff, well, you are in exactly the right place. Okay, let's dive right into this because the landscape of Social Security and Medicare is undergoing some massive, and I mean truly massive shifts as we move into 2026. We are looking at a year of significant, unprecedented operational changes at the federal level. And look, understanding these shifts, it isn't just about staying informed or keeping up with the news. It's about actively protecting your livelihood, your financial stability, and, of course, your health. So today, we are going to do two very important things. First, we are going to decode exactly what is happening with the Social Security Administration's newly expanded medical reviews. We need to look under the hood there. And then we're going to pivot. We're going to uncover some incredibly powerful 100% free Medicare health perks that literally millions of people are just walking right past every single day. So go ahead, grab your notebook, get comfortable, and let's get into the details.
So here's the million-dollar question we have to start with. Are your benefits at risk, or is your healthcare going unclaimed? As we look at the hard data coming out for 2026, we're really seeing a tale of two entirely different situations for seniors and beneficiaries right now. On one hand, a good number of you are facing a rapidly approaching, honestly quite urgent, bureaucratic deadline regarding your monthly benefits. The rules of the game are tightening, for sure. But then, on the other hand, a staggering number of folks are unknowingly leaving life-changing, completely free medical care just sitting there on the table. And why? Simply because nobody ever told them the exact magic words they need to say to their doctor. It's wild. So today's explainer is really designed to rescue you from both of these traps. We are going to secure your records on one side of the equation, and we are going to make sure you claim every ounce of your earned healthcare on the other.
Section 1. The 2026 Medical Review Surge. All right, so we are seeing a very significant expansion of what they call continuing disability reviews this year. But right off the bat, let's separate the fact from the fiction, because I know there's a lot of panic out there. If you are collecting Social Security simply because you reached retirement age, I want you to take a deep breath and just relax. Your standard retirement benefits are perfectly safe and they are absolutely not subject to these medical reviews. The SSA is not coming for your standard retirement checks, okay? However, if you or maybe someone in your family receives Social Security Disability Insurance, which is SSDI, or Supplemental Security Income, SSI, and it's based strictly on a medical disability, well, that requires your urgent attention right now. The continuing disability reviews we are discussing today apply exclusively to this specific group. Periodically, the SSA is essentially evaluating your file to see if you still meet their strict medical criteria for having a disability, and they are ramping this up.
20%. Think about that number for a second. In March of 2026, the SSA announced a major, sweeping operational shift. Basically, they took the processing of these medical reviews away from all those scattered, overwhelmed state-level agencies, and they centralized the whole operation into a brand new, highly focused federal office called the Disability Case Review Unit. And the result of that bureaucratic reshuffling? A massive 20% increase in the processing speed of these continuing disability reviews compared to previous years. And I have to tell you, that accelerated pace is continuing full steam ahead into 2026. The backlog is being cleared out fast. So what does this actually mean for you? Well, it's pretty simple. If you have been receiving disability benefits for years and you haven't had a review recently, the statistical probability that a notice is heading to your mailbox is higher right now than it has been in a very, very long time.
Section 2. Protecting your disability benefits.
So how do we actually protect your benefits? The absolute most important thing to remember here, and I want to stress this, is that a review notice showing up in the mail is not an automatic termination. It's really not. It is essentially just a disability update report. The SSA schedules these updates based entirely on the severity and the prognosis of your specific medical condition when you were first approved. Let's break it down. If your original diagnosis was categorized by them as likely to improve, well, then you're on the faster track. You should expect a review every 6 to 18 months. It's just part of the routine. But if you suffer from a chronic illness or a condition that's categorized as permanent, where medical improvement is simply not expected, the SSA generally spaces those reviews out much further, typically every 5 to 7 years. Furthermore, if you do fall into that 5 to 7 year category, your review is statistically far less likely to result in a termination. Knowing your specific schedule helps you anticipate and prepare, rather than just being caught completely off guard when that envelope arrives.
Now, the crucial point is how you actually survive this review when it happens. Think of this as your ultimate survival guide. Steps 1 and 2 are tightly linked together. Maintain consistent medical treatment, and keep your records current without any gaps. Let me explain exactly why this is absolutely vital. The central question the SSA is asking in every single review is simply this: has your condition improved enough that you can now work? If your medical records show a continuous, unbroken chain of regular treatment and well-documented symptoms, it is very, very hard for them to say you've magically improved, right? But, and this is a massive but, if you have gaps in your treatment, say you just stopped seeing your doctor for 6 months because you felt a bit better or you couldn't get a ride, the SSA bureaucratic machine often interprets that gap as hard evidence that your medical condition has improved, even if your actual daily pain or condition hasn't changed one single bit. Do not give them that excuse. You have to keep the paper trail alive. And finally, step 3, respond to the SSA letter immediately. Do not put it in a drawer. Which brings us to the most critical number in this entire explainer.
10 business days, please. Whatever you do, burn this number into your memory. If you go through this whole review process and the SSA ultimately makes the decision to discontinue your benefits, you have exactly 10 business days from the date on that termination notice to file an appeal if you want your financial payments to continue while the whole appeal process plays out. Let me repeat that because it is literally a financial lifeline. If you miss that tight 10-day window, your monthly payments stop immediately while you wait for your hearing. And those hearings, they can take months to schedule. 10 business days is your one and only lifeline to keeping your income flowing while you fight their decision. Do not miss that deadline.
Section 3, the free health benefit.
Okay, let's switch gears and uncover a hidden treasure that millions of seniors just ignore every single year. There's so much confusion out there about this. A lot of people call their doctor's office and say they want to schedule a checkup or a physical. Now, a standard physical checkup involves the doctor pressing on your abdomen, listening to your lungs, doing physical exams, and importantly, it often comes with copays and deductibles attached. But an annual wellness visit, that is 100% covered by Medicare Part B. That means zero copay, zero deductible, zero cost to you out of pocket, provided your doctor accepts Medicare assignment, which, let's be honest, the vast majority of them do. It's a completely different type of appointment. It's officially categorized as a personalized prevention plan appointment. And the best part is, you are entitled to a brand new one every 12 months.
So you might be wondering, what actually happens during this completely free visit? You receive some incredible proactive evaluations. First, they sit down and do a real deep dive into your complete health history and your current list of medications. They check the basic vitals, of course, like blood pressure and BMI, but let's focus for a second on evaluating fall risk and assessing your daily living ability. For seniors, a fall isn't just a bruised knee. It is often the most consequential, life-altering health event that can possibly occur. Getting a free professional assessment of your fall risk, how safe your living environment is, and your functional ability to navigate daily life, that is incredibly valuable. They also review for signs of depression, which sadly frequently goes totally undiagnosed in older adults. This whole visit isn't about poking and prodding you. It's about looking at the big picture of your health to prevent absolute disasters before they ever happen.
Section 4, the crucial cognitive screening.
Now, thanks to some major new medical studies that have been driving federal policy this year, Medicare now specifically requires providers to assess cognitive function during this visit. This is really about catching the very beginning, subtle signs of memory problems, impaired judgment, or difficulty concentrating. And I want to be perfectly clear right now. This is not some scary, grueling, hour-long standardized test. I know the word screening can sound intimidating. Actually, scratch that. It's just a brief, straightforward, non-invasive conversation and assessment. The reason this matters so deeply is that early detection of cognitive decline or dementia opens doors to medical interventions, brand new medications, and vital family planning that simply disappear once the condition has progressed too far. Sadly, the people who need this screening the absolute most are often the ones who are least likely to actively ask for it. The true beauty of the annual wellness visit is that it makes this life-saving screening completely automatic.
I want you to take a picture of this screen right now, or grab a pen and write this down. When you call your primary care doctor's office, do not ask for a physical and do not ask for a checkup. If you use those words, the front desk might accidentally schedule you for an appointment that is going to cost you money out of pocket. You must use these exact words. I want to schedule my Medicare Annual Wellness Visit. Let me tell you why. Using this exact phrasing triggers the correct federal billing code in the doctor's computer system, ensuring that Medicare covers the visit at 100% with absolutely zero cost to you. When you're dealing with the Medicare bureaucracy, your words literally equal money.
Just a quick little point of clarification here, a bit of an aside. If you are brand new to Medicare, meaning you are currently in your very first 12 months of Part B coverage, you actually need to ask for a slightly different appointment to start with. It is called the Welcome to Medicare Preventative Visit. It's essentially the exact same concept. It is still entirely free, but it's designed to establish your baseline health data. If you have been on Medicare for years and you've just never done either of these, don't worry.
Just call, ask for the annual wellness visit, and let the doctor's office sort out the exact paperwork on their end.
Section 5. More hidden Medicare perks. You know, the annual wellness visit? That is really just the tip of the iceberg. There is an absolute bounty of zero-cost preventative screenings that you have full access to, which frankly, the vast majority of recipients are widely ignoring. Let's look at just a few of these. You get cardiovascular screenings for cholesterol and lipids completely free, once every 5 years. If you happen to have risk factors for diabetes, Medicare covers those screenings twice per year at zero cost. A dedicated depression screening is covered once per year. And the list just goes on and on. Colorectal cancer screenings, lung cancer screenings for heavy smokers between 50 and 77, and bone density screenings for women. Furthermore, all vaccines recommended by the advisory committee, and I mean shingles, pneumonia, flu, COVID, and RSV, are covered at 100% under Medicare Part D or Part B with literally no cost to you. Look, you have already paid into this system your entire working life. Please do not leave this free preventative care just sitting there on the table.
And before we finish up, I really want to highlight this brand new definition for 2026. Passed recently by the Ways and Means Committee, this new pharmacy testing rule is a massive, massive quality of life upgrade. Basically, pharmacists can now administer tests for strep throat, influenza, and RSV, and they can bill Medicare directly for the reimbursement. Think about how drastically this improves your same-day healthcare access. Instead of waiting days to get an appointment with your primary care doctor when you wake up feeling terribly sick, especially if you live out in a rural area where clinics are sparse, you can now simply walk into a participating local pharmacy, get tested on the spot for these common respiratory illnesses, and have Medicare cover it completely. It is a massive expansion of fast, accessible care right in your neighborhood.
As we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with one very vital, provocative question. Will you take just 10 minutes today to secure your records and actually claim the free healthcare that you have earned? We've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about the quickening pace of Social Security medical reviews and the absolute undeniable necessity of maintaining your medical records and knowing that crucial 10-day appeal window. We've also unlocked the exact phrasing you need to use to access thousands of dollars worth of free preventative care and those life-saving cognitive screenings. But here's the thing, knowledge is only power if you actually act on it. Please, take a moment to share this explainer with a friend or a family member who relies on Medicare or disability benefits. You might just save them from a bureaucratic nightmare or help them catch a medical issue before it's simply too late. So, what is the very next call you are going to make today? Thank you so much for joining me, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.